Hi, I'm Wendy from Shiny Happy World, and in this video I'm going to show you how to put together this turkey applique pattern. So this is one block in the Woodland Critters applique quilt pattern. That's a bigger pattern that includes a whole bunch of different animals, but it's also available just as a standalone. You can get just the turkey pattern. Both of those are available in my shop at shinyhappyworld.com. So here's how to make him. Okay, I have got all the pieces here ready to assemble this turkey block. He is big and he's a little bit different than some of my other patterns. So just because he is going off the block he's coming out of this corner. It's like he's so huge we couldn't get his entire body into the frame of the photo that we took. And so we're going to be lining things up with these two edges of the block. So the assembly is going to look a little bit different. This is the video showing how to put him together without a light box. And so for that version, we do need to transfer these dotted lines from the back of the fabric onto the front so that you can see them and use them to help guide the placement as we go. So we are going to start with the biggest, kind of most outer rim of his feathers. And I'm just going to put it here just as a temporary hold. And we're going to see, we may need to shift that up or down, but we do know that this flat edge here needs to be lined up with this raw edge of the block. So we've got one kind of good guideline. So now we need piece number 2. And there's a placement guide. You'll use this if you had a light box. These numbers are also telling you what order you lay the pieces down in. But for our purposes, they just serve as an identification guide, telling us which piece is what. This one has the corner piece, so it's just like a puzzle. That corner piece is going to help us a lot. So now that we've got those together, we're going to orient that down so that that is going right in the corner. So this guy's in the corner, and we have laid it on this bigger piece behind so that these lines that I transferred are being covered up. Once they're covered, we know that we've got good overlap. So that should be set for the placement. So now we're going to put in piece number 3. We're just building up from the back all of these tail feathers that kind of go behind his body. There we go. And now we've just got his chest. And that is piece number 4. And he's actually, I've got him kind of shifted a little bit. That's okay. When I trim the block down, I'll be able to trim that excess away. It may be that I didn't have a good right angle when I cut my blocks. I'm kind of messy when I cut my background blocks out because I know they're going to be trimmed down to size later. So I'm not super precise with them. So now we're going to work our way up from the bottom, and we are going to be tucking some pieces behind other pieces. But these are going to work as guides for us. So first we lay this piece down so it covers up the markings that we had. Got a little bit of chalk peeking out over here, so I'm going to shift him over just a hair. Now we're going to take his headpiece, and we are going to tuck that behind this kind of waddly thing. I feel like they have a different name when it's a turkey. It's not the waddle, or maybe this is the waddle and the one on top has a different name. The snood, that's what it is. It's a snood, a waddle and a snood. And I want these points on the waddle to line up. I want them to come up to the edge of the neck there. So I'm tucking that neck down deep enough so that those pieces get covered. And that means I'm not covering it up there, so we're going to shift this up just a hair. Shift this guy over just a bit. I bumped that. All right. So I've got a little bit of chalk peeking out there, but I think that's where I just slipped a little bit. So I'll just erase that later. Now we're going to tuck the beak behind the face. And again, that chalk line is going to show us how deeply we need to tuck it. And that works well. And now we have the snood. And I am holding it upside down. It goes with the pointy side up. We want that to be lined up just with the front of the head so that it looks like it is actually growing out of his head, which it is. And we do not want the snood to overlap the wattle. You can see on the placement guide, you can see that there's a little space between those two things. You don't want them to look, your eye is going to want to take all of that red and turn it into one shape. We don't want that to happen. Push that up a little bit. And now we just need to put his eye into place. And there we go. One turkey eye. All right. Now, I'm going to take this over to my ironing board very carefully so I don't shift any of those pieces. I'm going to fuse all of it into place so that it is permanently fused down. Then I'm going to take it to my sewing machine and I'm going to do all of the outline stitching around all of the pieces. And then I will bring it back here and show you what the finished one looks like. And I will also show you a finished one that I did in a different color combination. All right, here is the finished turkey. I've done all of the outline stitching and I added a catch light just using a little dot of white fabric paint. And I wanted to show you a couple of other different color options. So this is the color collection that I did for the cover sample of the Woodland Critters applique pattern. All of the background blocks in my sample use avocado blenders from a collection that I designed that's available on Spoonflower. And all of the animals use kind of realistic animal colors from the Animal Kingdom color palette. This one has a little bit of red from the Farmer's Market color palette. These are from the strawberry blenders, just because turkeys really do have a very vivid red wattle and snood. But I wanted to show you a couple of other options. So this one also uses realistic colors for the turkey from the Animal Kingdom collection, but the background block is a solid color with just these quilting lines printed on it, and it's from the Farmer's Market collection. Those are all different colors that I've pulled from fruits and vegetables to get nice, really nice, vibrant colors, but a little bit toned down, but still colorful. And I have one more version. So this is a total fantasy version, and this is a quilt sample that I'm working on where all of the background blocks are realistic animal colors. So this is the same color I use on a fox, but the animals themselves use blenders from the Farmer's Market collection, and all of the animals on this quilt pattern that I'm doing are monochrome. So each animal is its own color and just different shades of that color. So these are all avocado blenders on this version of the turkey. So I'm Wendy from Shiny Happy World, and this is the turkey pattern.